Forward.
Hi again guys, and welcome to the 48th place pick in my top 50 favourite vehicles for 2018, and this time we're taking a look at a vehicle which many of you guys on the channel, not most, but many, probably haven't even heard of, because I don't talk about motorbikes all that much on the channel. It's a car channel predominantly, but I love alternative technology when it comes to performance. Not necessarily environmentally friendly stuff, but just stuff that's different. Gas turbines, radial engines, rotary engines, and in this case electric vehicles. And this is of course the first motorbike to feature on the list, the Agility Saietta R. The R in particular is the faster model, and believe it or not, this is actually a British bike, although the name and the look wouldn't really suggest that. You'd probably assume maybe German or Italian, maybe even Japanese, but certainly not British. I wouldn't think that first. They've only been around since 2008, and it's a pretty amazing little bike. It's expensive. You're talking MV Agusta or Bimota level pricing, 17 grand, which for a motorbike is a lot of money. It may not sound it compared to a car, but for a bike, that's a lot. That really is a lot. About twice the price, in fact, of some decent sport bikes. And so the question arises, what do you get? And also beyond that, why is it on the list? Well, one of the reasons why it's on the list is because I love the entire package of this vehicle. Because if something's just an electric bike for the sake of it, that doesn't mean that I'll love it. I'm not an electric vehicle fan. I'm a fan of certain vehicles which use electric power. There's a huge difference, because people who just arbitrarily love things for the sake of it, that doesn't necessarily mean you know what you're talking about. Whereas if you like certain cars that do that thing well, that's a big difference. So for me with gas turbines, I adore them. But that doesn't mean I love everything that's fitted with one, because some are just straight up bad. This bike, though, does it very well. Because for a start, you can charge this bike up fully. In about 3.5 hours, it will cost you 45 pence, like $1-ish. And in that time, you can get over 100 miles of range out of it, up to 116 in fact, depending on how hard you ride it. It comes with regenerative braking, 97 horsepower, around 98 pound-feet of torque, which is quite a bit for a motorbike. And although the top speed isn't incredible, it's around the 120 mile per hour range, which isn't too surprising for an electric bike, or even an electric car. They're not much faster generally. The 0 to 60 time is often what is very usable on an electric vehicle. Because not only is the 0 to 60 time just fast in a conventional sense, it's more so that you have all of this power, which, as I said, for a bike is a whole lot of power, in such an immediately accessible way. It has direct drive, so you just twist the throttle and go. It's brilliant for city riding, and in a car it's great for city driving as well. Start-stop traffic, although not the most efficient, is a very easy way to use an electric car. So, as far as performance goes, it will hit 60 in 3.9 seconds, but the difference is it does that in a nearly silent way, of course, being electric, and it does it in a way that you can just jump between sets of traffic lights, take sharp corners, and you don't have to work through gears. It's just start-stop. It really is like any electric car you would hope would be, but this is a perfect example of how well that can work in action. It turns the experience of riding what is essentially a sport bike, or borderline superbike in some ways, into like a moped in terms of usability, and that's a great combination to have. Now, in terms of being one of my favourites, I wouldn't put this crazy high. I haven't put this crazy high, and the reason why is because as much as I love it for doing what it does very well, for looking great, it's definitely unique, it's a vehicle which I like a lot, but I don't love. There are certainly other bikes which I like a lot more, but not just the looks alone which first caught my attention, but the way that this bike does everything that it's intending to do so well, in a combination of being genuinely fast, intriguing looking, overpriced but not ridiculous for an electric vehicle, because a lot of them are far more expensive than this, and also genuinely practical with good charge times, cheap rates, and pretty good range. It really is just one of those vehicles that goes in to try and achieve something specific, and it doesn't shout about it, it just quietly and efficiently gets it done. And I love that, and I love this bike. But that's it overall for this particular pick on my favourites list. Of course, if you are new to the series, you can click through to the playlist and see all of the other episodes. But for now, as always, thanks for watching.